Hi, I'm Jack Arnicke, and welcome to another edition of Capital Region Real Estate Today. We are nearing the end of summer, and it's really time to sit down and talk about the changing market with Realtor Anthony Gucciardo once again. Anthony, great to see you.
Great to see you too.
We're almost into early fall. How's the current status of the real estate market? How's things going?
So summer of 2023 was fantastic. We currently have about 52 transactions pending and about 15 active listings that are still on the market. If you listed your house in the summer of 2023, chances are it's already sold. As we approach September, October, we're still seeing multiple offers on many homes. Buyers are a little more selective of what they pay and as far as waiving inspections, but overall, still a fantastic time to sell a home.
Compared to, say, 2020, 2021, during the COVID era, what are prices doing in the market now?
Prices continue to go up. Even people who bought in the peak of COVID, 21, 22, if they had to sell this year, they were able to get their money back and even make some money. We've seen the biggest uptick in price in that $300,000 to $450,000 market. And what I mean, I just sold a house on Tokay Lane in Niskayuna for $345,000. I'll have Alan put that on the screen. 3-bedroom, 1-bath. 5 years ago, that house was maybe $250,000. We got $345,000 for it. So, if you own a house like that, those sellers are benefiting the most from these record prices.
And in years past, and not too far past, Schenectady and Troy have always been considered kind of the down market,
Yes.
Sort of the bottom of the barrel as far as price goes. How are they doing?
Schenectady, Troy, Rensselaer County, all of those markets have surpassed their previous prices, meaning years ago we would struggle to sell a home off of Union Street in Niskayuna or any of those areas. Prices were under $200,000. Now we are seeing houses go $250,000, $300,000, even $350,000 and up. And outside areas like Rotterdam, Chaumont, Mohannesson, Princetown, the market has pushed into those directions, and that has raised the prices of those homes as well.
And I've also seen in some of the what would be considered more specifically inside the city areas in Schenectady, some Gucciardo signs.
Yes, we have, people associate Gucciardo Real Estate Group with high-end real estate. We sell all types of homes. In fact, I just listed something on the Mohawk River in Latham. It's Cahoe's mailing address, but it's really Latham. It's 15 Schaefer Drive, and I'll have Alan put that on the screen as well. Backs up to the Mohawk River. It's $150,000. I always tell sellers, whether you have a $100,000 house, $1 million house, we want to help you. We have a whole team in place. I go on many of the appointments, so we don't discriminate in any way. We go everywhere.
That sounds like a very reasonable price being on water.
Yeah, $150. It backs up to the water. You have to walk, but there's a common easement and a lease on the land. And for $100 a month, you can lease a dock space. $100 a year, you can lease a dock space and have access to the Mohawk River. Whether you kayak, whether you have a pontoon boat, it's great for people to get near water for an affordable price.
Wow. Saratoga Springs, talking about the other end of the spectrum, recently in the headlines over multiple celebrities making real estate purchases.
Yes, we have seen that. Saratoga market continues to climb, and it will do so. I think the national attention it received from being in the Wall Street Journal was very positive. I just purchased a 10-unit apartment complex up in Ballston Spa, about 10 minutes to Saratoga. Those are properties that we like to dabble in as well. As a real estate expert, it's important that you own real estate too, and when you're hiring someone to sell your house, you want to know that that person has experience in both residential real estate management, residential resale, flipping, remodeling, home repair. So I like to have as much experience in real estate as possible because that transcends into an effective and an educational experience for my clients.
That apartment complex in Ballston Spa led to a headline in the Business Review saying
Yes.
Anthony Gucciardo stepping into commercial real estate.
Yes.
Are you still going to be primarily a residential realtor?
My main focus is always residential real estate. If you came to me, Jack, and you said, Anthony, you can only do one thing for the rest of your life, and you gave me an option of 4, and that being listing and selling homes, property management, flipping, or private mortgages, without question, I would always choose listing and selling the homes because it's been very good to me. It's something I truly enjoy. And it's just a passion of mine that really correlates into a very smooth transaction. Most transactions, there's always a little bumps along the road, but We are not stepping into commercial real estate. We dabble in it here or there. As I said, I own apartments, but when a client gets me and they hire me, they're gonna deal with me the entire time. That's very important. And I always tell people that you want someone with experience in all aspects of real estate.
Okay. You deal with a lot of folks who are downsizing, senior citizens, widows, widowers. Do you ever tell somebody that they really shouldn't sell that home?
Well, here's the problem. You know, I just ran into a gentleman at a wedding. He watches the show. His name was Mr. Sonato, very nice guy. He lives off Sand Creek Road. And he told me, he said, you know, my house is finally worth $400,000. We've sold a lot of houses off Sand Creek Road. I apologize for the plane noise. We just sold one on Al Ave, 66 Al Ave, AHL Ave, off Sand Creek. It's a brick ranch. We got $415,000. This is a house that 5 years ago was only worth $250,000, $260,000. So we're now seeing that appreciation where people are like, wow, I've never seen our house worth this much money. So what the gentleman at the wedding said to me is, okay, my house is worth $400,000, but I want to downsize. I don't want to go spend $450,000. So the market's kind of out of whack in that sense, where you can sell a $400,000 or $450,000 house, but there's nothing in the capital region, new construction on a smaller scale, that's $275,000 or $350,000. So people are kind of stuck. They're like, okay, I can keep the big house and, you know, maintain it, even though it might be too much or people don't want to go up steps or, you know, they're not here all winter. But, you know, you're selling for $450,000 and you're kind of downsizing to the same price. So financially, it's not really putting a lot of money in people's pocket. What it's doing is simplifying their life in terms of maybe they're not doing the lawn, maybe they're getting less property, maybe it's one floor. So that's the issue I get asked a lot is, okay, we sell our big house, but where do we go? A lot of people do go to Florida, a lot of people do go south, but locally we still have a little bit of a housing problem. There's a lot of apartments, but there's not a lot of affordable housing in that regard.
And what about the clutter that's accumulated over the years in that $400,000?
Well,
house?
we can help with that. We have a debris removal services department. In fact, it's so competitive out there that we're offering our sellers, if they list their home with us, we give them up to $1,500 in debris removal, depending on the commission that they charge. And I'll have Alan put that on the screen too. But depending on the commission, up to $1,500 in free debris removal, because sellers, they acquire so much stuff over the years. They call me, they say, Anthony, we're 2 weeks before closing, we got a pile of stuff. I get on the phone, I make the call, we get rid of the stuff, proceed to closing.
You just mentioned the word us in reference to your business. You just hired some new agents.
I just hired two new agents, Dan Griebert, who's in law enforcement, and Pavel Karakauchu, who's a phenomenal young guy. Both of them are on course to be multi-million-dollar producers. Pavel already is, but I'll also put them on the screen as well, give them a little shout out. We are growing. I have no aspirations to be Coldwell Banker or Howard Hanna, but occasionally I meet the right agent who I think is the right fit. We're not the hand-holding type firm in terms of agents we hire. We certainly hold our clients' hands and make sure that, you know, they are walked through the process. But I'm happy to have those two guys on board.
Since 2020, the market has been just phenomenal.
It has been.
Do you have any listings that are just simply not selling, or sellers who think, maybe the price you suggest is too low?
So, you know, funny story, I go to Guilderland, nice couple. I had sold their house years ago. I was the buyer agent. They had another listing agent, and they interviewed me to sell the house. And I said, I think your house should be listed at $999. I said, we can go a little higher. The wife immediately kind of rolls her eyes. She's like, oh, no, we want more than that. They listed for 1.2. As of this morning, I checked, it's still for sale, been on the market for 30 days. If your house is on the market for 30 days in this market, the price is too high. We have no inventory. We have a lot of buyers out there looking. You know, the average listing I gets between 10 and 25 showings.
Wow.
So if I go in and say, this is the price I think, I'm willing to go higher, but you have to understand I'm probably not, you know, 50 or 100,000 off. And if you have those unrealistic expectations and you start at 1.2 and then you lower your house 50,000, well, guess what? Now everyone knows it's too high and they're going to wait for the next price reduction and the next price reduction, and it's probably going to sell for exactly what I said. And in that interim, they wasted 3-4 months of time, and there's a chance it could not sell. So it's very important to trust your broker. You can always go a little higher. I don't disagree. You can always start a little higher. But if the price is appropriate from the beginning, you increase your chances of multiple offers. So rather than starting at Mount Everest, way, way too high, you start right at the market, maybe a little higher. The buyers are going to see that. I just listed one in Niskayuna, great family, 2461 Cambridge Drive. We'll put that on the screen too. Listed it for $359. It's in Avon Crest. Got an offer last night at dinner, 2 offers, $410,000. Now we were going to start lower. We started higher, and they listened to me. And guess what? They got $50,000 above list. So if you listen to the broker, someone like myself, who has sold nearly $1 billion in real estate and approaching 3,200 transactions, there's a good chance you're going to have a favorable outcome.
And you because you're in the business,
Correct.
Have an understanding of the market.
I have an understanding of the market. Another one I listed in Avon Crest North in Niskayuna. Niskayuna is one of my favorite areas. I love Niskayuna. 1035 Shannon Boulevard, Niskayuna. Gorgeous stone house. We'll put that on the screen too. Listed it for $649. We just sold it for $670. So only a $10,000 a difference, but still it's above list. No, excuse me, $20,000. Yeah. 650 to 670 is 20,000. So they got 20 above. We were thinking of starting at 669 or 639. I said, let's go in the middle. We got 670, 20,000 above list price. So listen to your agent, find someone that you trust with experience like myself. I'm happy to apply for the job. We'll talk, we'll figure it out, and we'll get the home sold.
Interest rates are over 6% now.
They are.
How is this affecting the market here and other markets where you're doing business in South Florida?
You probably relate to this more than me, but before my time, interest rates were 15 and 20%. I had a guy I recently sold for, another guy, Niskayuna, showed me his interest rate was 15.99%.
I remember.
He said,
days.
Anthony, 6% doesn't bother me. He said, yeah, the houses are more. Rates are still historically low. And no, they're not 3.5. No, they're not 2.99. Hopefully they'll come down. We don't know. But my advice, if you're buying, I think the capital region is very stable. I think there's a lot of growth here. A lot of people have exited the state. They've left. They don't like the politics. They don't like the leadership. But I truly feel the value of these homes is going to continue to rise. I just bought a house on Mill Road in Latham. I was ecstatic. I was on cloud 9. The people did not want to list it. They said, Anthony, we'll sell it to you. We don't want to deal with showings. They had some family issues. I bought the house. I'm going to fix it up and rent it. I own several rentals in the Forts Ferry area. I don't think you can go wrong with real estate. The old saying is buy real estate and wait. And that's what I recommend. Keep buying. It's going to keep going up.
Tell us a general timeline of events from the time a seller lists the property to a closing date.
So we're approaching September here. So say somebody calls me August 15th to list their home. Generally, they make a decision pretty quickly. We list the property after we get the professional photography done. The house will go live. We'll have a few days of showings. And at some point, we usually receive offers, multiple offers. From the time we get the offer, meaning from the time we sign the contract that you accept to sell the property, it's generally 45 to 60 days to close. Now, I sold a gorgeous house in Averill Park back in July. Really nice people, retired dentist moving south. That house that sold in July, they were able, or I should say, I was able to negotiate for them an October 15th closing. So we'll put that on the screen. 8 Pond Hollow in Averill Park, beautiful house. Multiple offers again, sold close. It sold for $700,000. Funny story about Pond Hollow in Averill Park. Years ago, there was a couple. They had 5 realtors, could never sell the house. I was one of the realtors who interviewed, but they did not hire me because I suggested a price that they did not like, and the house never sold. Now on that same street where we couldn't sell for $450 years ago, they're now selling $700,000. So if you have a house that years ago maybe wasn't worth what you thought, there's a good chance that number has grown a fair amount to please your sale, obviously. You may be very happy and impressed.
Many home buyers over the past couple of years have been up against multiple offers, 5, 10, 15 at a time. When you're representing someone who wants to buy a house, how do you make their offer stand out?
So I always tell people, if you're selling a house, when you're buying another house, that buyer does not want, that seller does not want to know that you have to sell your home. So as a buyer, it's important that you limit your contingencies. Limiting contingencies means making the date short, having a solid pre-approval letter for a mortgage, giving at least a $10,000 or $20,000 deposit, making sure that deposit is delivered promptly, maybe waiving inspections if you're comfortable. I haven't seen as many buyers waiving the inspections that we did, say, a year or two ago, but I would say out of 10 transactions, maybe 2 people waive inspections. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to do inspections. As a listing agent and as a predominantly very busy listing agent, it's important that you work with people who all have the same goal in mind, which is to bring the transaction to a smooth close. And some affiliates in the industry are easier to work with than others, and I know who those people are. So I'm always looking to work on the other end with people who have the same goal in mind. And if I feel that somebody is not 100% into real estate, I might choose another offer where I feel the people are focused, determined, and easy to communicate with. And that's important.
You are known for doing a tremendous amount of promotion. Billboards, newspaper ads,
yes.
This television show.
Yes.
What are you doing to increase your pool of potential buyers?
A lot of sellers always say to me, are you attracting downstate buyers? And the answer is yes. New York Post, I have an ad I'll show you in here. I'll have Alan put that on the screen. We are spending thousands of dollars a month to attract downstate buyers. The house I sold on Pond Hollow in Averill Park, Long Island buyer, $700,000. So ask your broker this. Besides your traditional photography, besides putting up a lawn sign, what else are they doing to get you top dollar? Because I'll tell you something, I've been doing this 21 years. It's the only thing I want to do. It's something I truly enjoy. Your broker should be spending a few $1,000s to market your property and get your home out there. I get it. The market is hot. Things are selling. Mm-hmm. But they should be putting in the effort to get you top dollar, especially if you have a unique property. Lake property, Saratoga Lake. Marini just listed a beautiful house on 9P. That's a little over $2 million. It's a gorgeous home. We as brokers need to stand out amongst the many competitors, and I do that through New York Post, Daily News, different advertising to reach as many buyers as possible. I have another buyer, I have a gorgeous listing on Woods Lane in Menands. Now it's been listed for a while. I'd like Alan to put that on the screen too, 114 Woods Lane. That property's on for $1.3 million. It's just under 10,000 square feet. 2 of the buyers have come from New York City to look at it, and that's important. So at Gucciardo Real Estate Group, we go above and beyond to reach as many buyers as possible to get you top dollar.
And those New York buyers, given what they're coming from, probably
they think we're very affordable.
Yeah.
You look at Brooklyn. If you go and buy a multifamily in Brooklyn, it's $5 or $10 million. So they come to the city of Albany and they buy something for $700,000, and they think it's a score.
Yeah.
So we are on the course in upstate New York to continue to climb. And my parents moved up here in 1985. From 85 to 98, there wasn't a whole lot of appreciation with the houses. It was,
right.
If you bought something for $293 and you sold it 3 years later, you might have got what you paid. There wasn't a big jump. I got into this business in 2002, and it's gone up every year, and it keeps doing it. Especially in the last 3 years, we've seen a major jump. So.
And when we're talking big money, of course, we're talking Lake George region around here too.
Lake George is still hot. I love Lake George. We sell in Lake George. We've done some private sales. Same with Saratoga Lake. The problem we run into today is people want to hire friends and family who don't have the necessary experience. And I always tell people, you want to get the person who's the most qualified for the job. You don't want to hire someone who just dabbles in it, because chances are my resources and my connections are going to get you extra money. And I have buyers and sellers reach out to me all the time who have hired a family friend with questions. And, I can't work for free, but I try and be as respectful as possible giving people advice. But I have so many countless stories of people who have worked with new agents. There's new companies running around. You really want to protect your investment and hire the most qualified person.
Lake George prices going to keep going up like they have been?
We've seen a little bit of a cool down in Lake George. I was up there at the Lake George Club last night, actually, talking with a lot of people, and some houses are sitting. buyers are selective. But I think Lake George is going to mimic Lake Tahoe, where their prices in Tahoe are $15, $20, $30 million. So you may see that in the next 10 years in Lake George. It's a gorgeous lake. One of the best lakes in the country, fresh water, beautiful views. I love Lake George.
And it markets itself well.
Markets itself very well.
Home staging, does it work? Is it worth it?
I do like home staging. In this market, the market has been so good, you don't need to make the house look perfect. I have staging packages that we offer. I would ask the sellers to meet with me and I can tell you what to do to get your house ready. We also allow a 1-hour free consultation with a stager. She'll walk through your house with you and she'll basically tell you what you need to do. I'm a stager as well, so I can also offer you advice, but some people want to talk to another person as well. So we have you covered no matter what you want to do.
Years ago, you dealt with one real estate agent, basically. Now it seems to be more of a team concept. How do you work?
I am obviously the face of the business, but I also realize that, not everyone wants to deal with me, and my brand, although appealing to many people, some people, I have people all the time say to me, we weren't going to hire you, but you turned out to be such a nice guy. We were turned off by the billboards, or you got your TV show on every day. But it's really important that you get to know someone. I just had a woman tell me at the end of a closing, really nice lady, but she said, you know what? You were the total opposite of what I expected. And I think people expect a smooth talking, kind of arrogant jerk, and that's not me. Mm-hmm. I haven't had the success I've had because I'm, rude or obnoxious. It's just not my style. So give somebody a chance. But if you hire me, if you call me, there's a good chance I'm going to come out to your house. It's a big area. We service 7 counties, so I might not be able to make it to every county, but we do our best to find you someone just as qualified as myself who can help you. So you have a choice.
And if you were an arrogant jerk, I don't think I'd be doing business.
No, that is true. Yes, you wouldn't be here.
Nope.
And thank you again for, I think it's over 10 years now of helping me with this. So.
Well, I appreciate it. You recently sold a $6 million home in Florida, presumably Southwest. How does this experience help a future seller in like Saratoga?
So somebody say in Saratoga, whether it be Meadowbrook or around Saratoga Lake, they want someone with experience. And I sold a $5.8 million house and we purchased a near $2 million house with these buyers. And the transaction is relatively the same. The numbers are just larger. But when you deal with certain clientele, they expect more. And I have that experience, especially doing that large transaction in Florida. I have a listing in Shaker Bay right now, 8 Shaker Bay in Latham. We can put that on the screen. We do a lot of high-end listings, East Hills, Saratoga, Latham, Loudonville, Niskayuna. So we definitely have that niche, and I definitely think I present myself where sellers are comfortable hiring me with their luxury home.
Okay, and as time goes on, it seems we're going to get more and more homes around here that are approaching that threshold.
They are. Saratoga has seen some $2 million sales. Lake George, obviously. Loudonville, Latham, you've seen $1 million sales, but nothing crazy where it's newsworthy. It's, they're good prices, but there have been some sales in Loudonville near the $2 million mark, and that's a good sign for our area.
Absolutely. If someone can get, say, $300,000 for a house, but they're considering updating a bathroom, a kitchen, or something like that before they sell, you recommend they do that?
Well, in this market, you can pretty much sell houses as is. I always tell people, I give them 2 options. We can sell it as is, and you can do some decluttering, clear off the counters, get rid of all the magnets on the refrigerator. But if there's a next step phase that they want to go to, which is updating bathrooms and kitchens, it would really have to look at when they bought the house. If they bought the house 25 years ago, and they're going to put, $30,000 into it and get 70 more, it might be worth it. But somebody who's hiring me towards the end of the summer, if they're going to do work, and that work is going to take 2 months, well, we're going to be listing that house in November, December. It could be a little slower. The rates could go up again. You have to take all of those factors into consideration. I will educate my clients and advise them what I think is best. As a real estate broker, I'm not looking for a quick sale, and that's one of the benefits of hiring me. I don't need to sell a house tomorrow to pay my bills. So if you want to wait a week or 2, or you want to go through the weekend to show the house, we're not in a rush. We can go as quick or as fast as you like. So that's important.
And I would almost think, and this is just my own personal perspective, if I'm going to spend money redoing a bathroom or redoing a kitchen and really modernizing it, making it look nice, I want to live there for a while.
You want to live there, and you also don't know what the new people are going to like.
Right.
So, people generally go with neutral colors. The white and the gray are still in. But we've seen some, Nautica themes and the darker colors, darker accent walls. So It really depends on the house and what you're looking for and when you're moving.
What are the hottest areas around here right now?
The hottest areas, I definitely still see multiple offers in Albany County in terms of, Latham, Loudonville, parts of Niskayuna with Albany County schools. I have another gorgeous house I just listed in Niskayuna that has Albany schools, 54 Oak Tree Lane. It's a beautiful home. Those buyers are actually, or those sellers are from Manhattan, and they have redone the house, and it's just amazing. I like to put 54 Oak Tree on the screen too, if anyone is looking for a custom home. But Saratoga, Lake George, it's all hot. It's all really good. Even Postenkill, Averill Park, Rensselaer County, everything is selling, and that's we haven't seen that before. So if you're thinking of selling, jump on it now because it may not last.
People selling in the capital region, what's the number one destination where they want to get to?
It seems like most people are going to Florida. The people in Niskayuna I just work with, they're going to Texas. So it seems to be the South and the West. You don't see a whole lot of people moving north here to retire. It's more they're going south, maybe picking up a condo somewhere here. But most people seem to be heading to Florida, the Carolinas, Texas, Arizona. It's all over, but Florida, I would say, is the number one choice for people in upstate New York.
At least the warmer climes. And
warmer climates, yes.
We've talked a lot about residential. We never really mentioned condos. There much of a market for condos around here?
Well, the problem with the condos is the prices have reached the $400,000 or $500,000 mark. So somebody selling a $400,000 or $500,000 house doesn't want to go to half the square footage
Right.
for $400,000 or $500,000.
And a monthly fee.
And a monthly fee. So that is, it really depends on where you're going, and what you're looking to do. Some people are like, I'm okay spending the money, but I don't want to do the lawn. I don't want to do the snow. I want to turn the key. I want to go to Florida, and I want to leave.
Okay, we're just about out of time. Concluding remarks from you.
I want to thank the Capital Region for your continued support. 2023, the summer, another fantastic year. This is my 21st year in business. I sincerely thank you. Many people watch this show and know that I am dedicated to what I do. My cell phone is on. Give me a call. We'd love to help you buy or sell real estate. And Jack, I want to thank you again for hosting the show in Capital Region. It's been a great 21 years. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anthony, and thank you all very much for watching. I'm Jack Arnicke. That's another edition of Capital Region Real Estate Today. Have a good day.